Welcome back to Wise Black Pearl, part 2 of an amazing series, I should say. And the last time we spoke, we talk about what does it mean being a man to you and who gives you the definition. And one of the things you said is manhood changes from time to time, right?
Your understanding of what it is to be a man changes from time to time. I think I mentioned as a child, I wanted to be exactly like my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, I think based on one of your questions, I really realized that I had to unlearn some of the things that I learned by his example
Yeah.
because they were not true to my nature.
Mm.
And so as we develop, the crucial thing, the critical thing, as we move forward in making that determination is what's our true north? What's our anchor?
Right.
Where are we operating from? And I think personally that we require a faith that's bigger than ourselves and care for something that's outside of ourselves to help
Yeah.
shape that part of who we are and what we become as men.
That is good. Like a lot of things from our parents, that has been passed on to us. Some things we have to unlearn, and unlearning some of those things is like the hardest process
Mhm.
because it became such a fabric in our lives. It is hard to transition to something new.
And
You
there's a difference between tradition and what's traditional.
Yeah.
And oftentimes when we seek something more or different than what our parents or grandparents fed us,
Mm-hmm.
there's some voice inside of us that makes it feel like it's betrayal.
Yeah.
The irony is, those are the very moments that our parents hope we would discover and uncover
Right.
who we are, wholly apart from who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And for me as a parent, I mentioned earlier, I have two sons, Maceo and Baron. They are very impressive, and I could not be more proud of them in every way. I mean, there is no man walking that has sons that they are more proud of than I am of my sons. So,
Man, that's good, man. That's really good.
Mhm.
Yeah. And sometimes, kids such as your son, when they were kids, a lot of times they don't understand the method behind the madness of what it is to parent a child and
Right.
that child become an adult and achieve great things that they want to. So with that said, if your child lived exactly like you, what future would they inherit?
That is a very interesting question. If they behaved exactly like me or copied my behavior, early on, I think it would be flattering.
Yeah.
But as they developed, it would become concerning for me.
Mhm.
Very, very concerning, very challenging for me because they have their own identity. They have their own life experiences. I am certainly not perfect. And I know that I speak from the deepest part of me
Mhm.
that I want them to have more, be more, understand more than I do.
Yeah.
So I view my parenting as a launch pad for them and to catapult them into their own sense of identity and sense of what is right and wrong and what they can anchor their faith in.
Mhm.
They would inherit some foundational things,
Yeah.
but more than that, they would inherit an enthusiasm and a curiosity about life that sustains a joy,
Right.
an unshakable joy, an unflappable joy. That would be their inheritance
That's good.
from me.
Yeah, that is good. Also, parents do the best they can, and a lot of time kids don't understand. Parent being stern at time or quote unquote harsh at time. When they have kids of their own, they understand what it is to be parent, and it gives them a profound appreciation for their own parents. And we will never get it right. We will be wrong sometimes, we'll be right sometimes. That's life, it's give and take. But when it comes to your kids or anyone, is there anything that you would convey to them that would change the directory of their lives in a way it might be they might feel offended about it? And if they do, can you apologize without defense and forgive without control?
That's an interesting question that I have some experience in.
Mm-hmm.
I remember once in a conversation, my father was very emphatic about a particular way to move
Yeah.
for me to move in my life. And I said to him, I don't agree with you. And he said, well, I've been doing this 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was a grown man when you was born. I got you. You didn't get me.
Yeah.
And those kinds of conversations really caused me to recoil and withdraw. But one of the things that I think made the difference was how he responded to me.
Yeah.
He sat quietly for a long moment. And then he said, son, he really didn't have to go beyond that. He said, son, if I somehow have led you wrong, it was with a righteous intent.
Mm.
And the Lord will cover me and show favor to you for my shortcomings.
Mm.
So if I'm wrong on this, know that you will be all right for my prayers' sake.
Mm.
And I thought, I'm sorry. because clearly, how do you respond to that?
Yeah.
He basically said, I'm doing the very best I can all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's
So
like charge it to my head, not my heart kind of
if
thing.
if you fault me for doing the best I can all the time,
Yeah.
shame on you.
Yeah.
So yeah, they would inherit a joy and a love, and yes, I could apologize without explanation because I know my heart,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they've been around me long enough to know my heart, and so absolutely, I could apologize and not explain because guess who's going to be the ultimate teacher that affirms the truth that I offer to them? It's them continuing to live
Mm.
and learn. My father used to tell me, it'll come to you. You just keep living.
It'll be there.
It's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming. It's
Yeah.
coming. And see,
Wow.
that's why I referred when you asked me what was the most important thing I can give them. It's a gift.
It is.
It's a gift of my presence.
Yeah.
And we use that word a lot nowadays about being present and presence. But to be present means to not be fidgeting with your phone when they're trying to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Being present means listening, taking a moment to pause, unpack what you think you heard,
Mm-hmm.
mirror it if you have to, go back and say again in the way that you understood it so they can hear what you heard, what you understood, and then respond.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a process. It's a process that's overlooked as we rush to speak. So many of us are waiting for our opportunity to speak, waiting for our turn.
Yeah.
But the objective is to listen, to understand. I was brought up in a Christian family, and the Bible was the cornerstone of our teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a verse in the Bible that says, "In all thy getting, get an understanding."
Mm.
Well, if I'm thinking about the past hurt or looking forward to a future that does or does not include you, I am not present.
Right.
And so when you hear the term presence, at least coming from my mouth, it's It's understanding that there's a time to hear. In fact, I wrote an article a few years ago called Listen Silent. And if you know what an anagram is a word that when you mix up the letters, they spell something else. All the letters in the word listen are in the word silent.
Mm.
Yeah, dig that.
Ooh, that's a sage. That's a sage gem right there.
All right. All right. All right.
And this is exactly telling people the reason and the purpose behind Wise Black Pearl. And with you doing this, giving back to those who are in need, what are you becoming when nobody's watching?
When no one watches, when you, in your most private, intimate moments, look into the mirror and you have to confront the person who's staring back at you.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it is an imperative that I feel good about what I see. You know, all too often we buy into a identity.
Yeah.
That's a word that I got from Myron Golden, one of his podcasts. He talks about identity, my identity, and lie-identity.
Mm.
I don't know where he got it, but the world tries to tell you who you are. They try to define who you are, what you're capable of. Sometimes your loving family attempt to tell you what you can do with which limits you
Mm-hmm.
from the very thing you were sent to do.
Yeah.
That's a lie identity. It's a lie about who you are and what you're capable of. That speaks to the core of why it's important to determine what your personal relationship looks like with one who is greater than you. Once you can make that determination, you then, in fact, are approaching your identity,
Mm.
your ikigai. I talk
Yeah.
about ikigai.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your reason for being. You know, and I think that is born out of listening to that little voice that's inside of you, listening to those yearnings that have brought me to a place where I can no longer hold this inside of me. I'm working on, obviously, the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm working on some books
Mm-hmm.
and workshops that I want to share that'll be a bridge or a liaison between fathers and sons who have been estranged. Um, anyone that needs a bridge to fortify their level of communication. This will be an excellent tool that's in my toolbox that I'm willing to share because we need each other more now than we ever have before.
Man, that is true. We do need each other more now than ever before, man. A lot of us that have, great intention to do great things, not for ourselves, but for others. And when we do things for others, we gain that success from giving, right? Because the gift and talents that we have is not for ourselves, it's for others. And by being a blessing to others, that makes us a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people do not get what that is. And their approach to you might be in a way that you don't like or you don't appreciate. So, in those moments, who are you when disrespected? And what does that reveal about not only yourself, but the person?
So your question is about disrespect,
Mm-hmm.
how I might react.
Yeah.
That's pretty easy. Each one of us has our idea of what's respectful and what's disrespectful.
Right.
And many of us agree on a common ground of what is respectful and what isn't, what's rude
Mm-hmm.
and what's impolite. I really don't fret when someone feels that they are attacking, because if they get acid in their blood, it destroys them, not me. That's
Yeah.
point one. Point number two, when you talk about disrespect, You can't disrespect me unless I allow you to disrespect me.
Mm,
You can call me a bunch of names,
yeah.
but there has to be something in me that's willing to receive that of you in order to have a visceral response or personal response. Now, Shakespeare had a good point when he said, "And he who steals my purse steals nothing, but he who steals my good name, that is substantial."
Yeah.
So, uh, if you're talking about someone that front me on the street, clowning, feeling like they want to flex on me, and I see that. Well, first I understand that they're coming from a malicious and premeditated place
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not prepared for. So I'm more inclined to take a step back, allow it to flow in whatever direction it needs to flow, and pray that they didn't mistake this cool veneer for someone who is passive or unwilling to risk it all. But I choose my battles, I choose my principles, and I choose the situations that I find myself in to determine, is this a hill that I want to fight on?
Yeah.
And at my age, I don't fight anymore. I just terminate the problem.
Wow. Yeah, that is honestly that is the mature thing to do. Like why waste energy trying to win an argument?
It's not my energy. It's
Exactly.
there.
Like there are so many other ways that I can use my energy that would benefit me and benefit somebody else. And a lot of us get into this space because we have something to give, whether it's a word of advice, whether it's blueprint to a thing that you want to do. And some of us do it for the right reasons and some of us do it for the wrong reasons. So are you doing this to raise approval or to have appreciation or to give something of value?
Again, I was very close with my father,
Hmm.
and he used to say this thing to me that really drove me crazy. He would say, I got mine. You got to get yours. You know, I don't get better because I'm sharing this with you. I'm doing it to help you get better. And so, to your question, what's my motivation right now?
Yeah.
My motivation is to touch someone who's open, who has a need, who is willing to embrace what I've come to understand as a truth. And if I can touch that person and encourage them along the way,
Hmm.
then my work will not have been in vain.
Yeah.
Um, I don't need applause. I don't even need to get paid. I want to let that sink in.
Oh.
Let me tell you a little story.
Oh yeah.
When my father passed a few years ago, we prepared a going home ceremony, and he didn't leave me any stuff.
Yeah.
He had some jewelry, he had some rings, he had some suits, he had some stuff. He had some guns and stuff. He had a lot of stuff. He was doing all right. And as the only son of 7 children, I thought I'd get everything that was his. And when he passed, I was livid. I was livid because I didn't get anything.
Wow.
And I remained angry
Hmm.
for several months. And when I was just about to burst with frustration and anger, it was eating me up. I said, you know what? And I used some foul language, you know. And I said, I don't care. I don't need his stuff. I can get all of it on my own. In fact, I already got it. And in that moment,
Yeah.
I realized that he had left me my balls,
Mm-hmm.
my backbone, my resolve, his example, and those were the cornerstones of my inheritance.
Yeah.
It was his legacy that washed over me, that made me know I can do all things through my faith,
Mm.
because he showed me that.
Yeah.
And he didn't have big paper. He didn't make a lot of money. He wasn't able to, flex and roll Lambos and that type of thing. He was a man among men. And that is an illustration of what we need in our homes today, in our lives today, in the friends that we choose. Someone who's willing to ride with us till the wheels fall off
Mm-hmm.
when we're right, and will stand and admonish us when we are wrong.
Yeah.
That's love.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my inheritance.
Wow. And that shaped the person that you have become and are still becoming.
I continue.
Yeah.
I continue to pour into myself in a way that I think not only serves me and serves my creator, but serves the legacy of that my parents tried to instill in me as well.
Mm. That is good. That right there is raising the bar, for not just you, but for me and other listeners that are listening. It should raise the bar, raise the standards, like where do your standards for others exceed your standards for yourself?
That doesn't happen. First off, I don't have expectations of others.
Mhm. Yeah.
I let people do their thing because I'm doing my thing.
Hmm.
I think that's the cornerstone of respect. If
Yeah.
you want a definition of respect, it's understanding that we're different and allowing people the space
Hmm.
to be who they are and holding space for their differences.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you talk about what do I expect from someone else that I don't expect from myself, well, that's an impossibility. As a matter of fact, I'm doing all I can to just meet my own expectations of
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I mean, occasionally I let myself down. This particular interview is to restart an effort that I started in June of 2024.
Mm.
I would imagine that I would have exponentially more content than I have.
Hmm.
But this is what happens in the privacy and in the solitude of my own thoughts. I look in the mirror and I ask myself the tough question. The question that many of us are so willing to ask someone else, but not willing to ask ourselves. And that is, what am I doing to sabotage my own situation? What am I doing to ambush the process? What am I failing to do in order to usher this process forward? And those answers come hard and they come quickly. And so, what I do in the privacy of my own thoughts is put a foot in my own ass,
Hmm.
and with that wake up call,
Yeah.
then I am reanimated, re energized. I start to anticipate great things instead of having anxiety about
Right.
what I haven't done.
Mm. Wow. That is good. That is good. And that is another way that we grow. They say in order for a problem to be solved within yourself, you first have to admit that there is a problem. And if you don't admit that there is a problem, then there's nothing that no one can do for you because you don't want to do the work, take the first step. Hey,
Exactly.
I have a problem. What do I need to do to fix it? What are the steps I need to take to get it done? But for those who accept that there is, a problem in their lives, and problem really doesn't mean a bad thing. Most times problems are stepping stones.
Exactly.
And once you solve that puzzle, it becomes a stepping stone for you to get to the next level and the next level. And that's how success work, right?
Mm.
But if everything fall away, what part of you would still stand?
Again, I'm 67 years old.
Yeah.
That's happened to me a couple times.
Mm.
And so I can tell you with certainty, what isn't shaken is my joy.
Mm-hmm.
What isn't shaken is my faith.
Yeah.
What isn't shaken is my confidence that I am going to bounce. Everybody takes a fall. Some people get knocked down, but that doesn't mean they get knocked out.
Yeah.
And so I've lost restaurants. I've lost homes. I've lost vehicles. I've lost loves. I've lost my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And many of those experiences left me feeling like I had lost it all. And when I went in the mirror and looked into my own face and asked the question, well, what am I going to do now? It was just a one word answer:
Mm-hmm.
start.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to start to become great.
Ooh. That's a bar. That's a bar. That is a bar.
Well, I appreciate that, Michael. That's just that's just my get down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Wow. And that is it for everybody because, for people out there that admire other people, whether it's entrepreneurs, athletes, whoever, people of prominent status, they are just ordinary people that was willing to sacrifice the comfort in order to be extraordinary.
that's it.
And they have the same 24 hours that we all have. And they choose to do the same thing that you just mentioned. Just start.
Start.
Just start. And this is a great start of what is to come. And I'm happy and I'm looking forward to see the continuation and the success of this podcast. So, man, I would like to thank you for having me, to come and ask you these deep dive questions, not letting people into your quote unquote home, but letting them into a part of your soul.
I got a little headache. I have a little headache, man. It's something that most people that know me
Yeah.
would argue
Mhm.
with me about. I am deeply introspective, and I hold myself as an introvert
Yeah.
who operates as an extrovert.
Mm.
I don't meet strangers. I reach out to people unsolicited because there's something in me that feels that I have a word or a gift or a laugh, a smile, a blessing, something that I can do to lift them up.
Yeah.
That's how I move. You know, I move miracles that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the same time, it is exhausting, and I'm much more content in my garden, fellowshipping in the earth,
Mhm.
sowing seeds, watching them grow, making noise with my saxophone.
Mhm.
It doesn't need to ring pleasant to anyone else's ear.
Yeah.
You know, I do those things for me, and they're very soothing and they're very important. And so it's just how I choose to get down. But some things are far too valuable to keep inside.
Right.
And that's the pressure of my purpose leaking out of me. So, like I said, a book, Journey to Goat Mountain, a workbook, I also write erotica.
Mm,
I mean, I'll be publishing some romance novels for elders. You
nice,
know,
nice.
because we're alive,
Mm-hmm.
we're moving. You
Yeah.
know, so shout out to all those people who've read some of my stuff.
Yes, indeed.
I'm looking forward to doing quite a bit more of it.
Yeah.
But just a peek inside
It's at Maceo land.
outside my get down. You know.
The get down.
Mhm.
Lastly, is there anything else you would like to let the people know? Like, where can they find you? How can they find you? And how can they also get involved and be a part of the
Of
journey?
of course, on my website, Wise Black Pearls, there's a button that says fan mail.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to use that as my interface for Ask Uncle Maceo. If
Yeah.
there's some question you may have about manhood, masculinity, parenting, being head of household, the man of the house, then you can reach me through that, my fan mail on that
Mm-hmm.
website. You can also send an email to Keeling, Keeling at AOL.com. That's my old school email address. Shows you how long I've been in the email game.
I still have a Hotmail, so
You know, but the main thing is look out for me,
yeah,
subscribe,
yeah. Please subscribe.
and join the movement from the streets back to our homes.
Yeah.
There was an interview with Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin where Nikki said, you know, you go to work every day, that you do a job that you don't like, grin and smile at a boss that you don't like.
Uh-huh.
If you can't do that for the mother of your children, if you can't do that for your children themselves, just show up and let them see the effort. It's not always about the outcome. More often than not, it's about the effort, the sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
that affirms the love that you say you have for them.
Yeah.
That is the glue that holds the family together. And I know that there are some political barriers, there's some legal constraints, there's all kinds of challenges to getting back to our homes.
Mm-hmm.
But we find a way around everything else. So one of my heroes is Diana Nyad. She's the lady that swam from Cuba to Miami.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. She said, you find a way. That's also a lesson that I learned from my beautiful sisters and my mother. We never quit. You find a way. My father used to tell me, and I told my sons, failure is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so when you make a decision, when you cut yourself off from any other alternative except success, then that is the only outcome. So input the behaviors that will lead to success and you will have it. And finally, I would be remiss if I didn't speak on love for a
Mm-hmm.
moment. I crafted this definition of love in June of 1984, just before my son was born,
Mm-hmm.
my first son. And it goes like this. Love is a decision to commit, and then committing to a set of behaviors, actions, and deeds that support and encourage the other person
Mm-hmm.
to take risks.
Mm-hmm.
When you take those risks to become the best person that you can become with me or without me.
Mm.
And that's an important part. You're not lifting someone up for them to be tied to you. You're lifting them up so that they can walk and not tire, so they can run and not faint.
Yeah.
So they'll take up wings and fly above the fray into their purpose. That is what love is for me.
Mm.
So with that, I think we're at a healthy and honest pause. And Michael, you're an incredible cat. Tell us again about your podcast, man.
Man, thank you again for this opportunity, for having me to come on your podcast as a host, introducing you to the world so the world can know who Maceo Keeling is and what the Wise Black Pearl is. That's amazing, man. But for my podcast, it's called the Maintenance Diaries Podcast, and you can catch us on YouTube and everywhere where you stream your podcasts. And once again, thank you for me hosting this.
Mhm.
It was very insightful. Had a lot of nuggets in there, a lot of gems. And to the ears that are listening and the eyes that are watching, they will definitely have something of great value and they will benefit from it. And I hope that they apply it to their lives so they can become better pearls in their own right.
And remember, you don't have to be great when you get started, but you do have to start to become great.
Hey. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man.
Appreciate you, Mike.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you too, everybody. Don't forget to like this podcast, like the episode, share it, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, get the word out, and let us continue to lift each other up and spread joy because love conquers a multitude. So let us spread love. Let us give love. Once again, thank you very much. Catch you guys on the next one. Have a great one. Peace.